Hey there, how you feeling today? Well, chances are a big part of how you're feeling right now has to do with how you started your day. Yes, I am talking about morning routines, and stick around because in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the key elements in my morning routines that I have honed in upon and decided to stick with after interviewing 300 of the world's top performers and health experts. Hey there, super friends, Jonathan Levy here, and in this video, I want to talk about the all-important morning routine. Yes, I know so many people have talked about this, and yet I want to share with you some of the things that I have decided to stick with after interviewing and trying out a lot of the different elements of morning routines from the over 285, maybe 300 by the time you watch this video, different thought leaders, experts, CEOs, entrepreneurs, coaches, athletes, and everything else that I have interviewed on the Superhuman Academy podcast. Now, allow me to say I have tested out a lot of different morning routine activities, some of them weird, some of them unusual, some of them pretty normal and banal. And only a few of them, a handful really, have stuck with me and have given me enough value that I've decided to continue with them and do them every single day. Now, I want to preface this with a little bit of transparency by saying I am also human and I do not do all of these things every single morning. Sometimes I also have mornings where I sleep in. I also have mornings where I don't feel like doing an ice bath. And yet, there are things that I come back to again and again and again because they make me feel better, they give me more energy, and they are so valuable that they're worth waking up just a little bit earlier to be able to do them. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is journaling. Now, I've done videos in the past about journaling, and this is one of those things that was honestly the easiest habit I've ever picked up before. A friend of mine, Benjamin Hardy, has a course on journaling that he graciously sent to me, and it really convinced me of the benefits of journaling. So look on my Instagram for a 6 journal exercise video that I did, which talks to you about the benefits of journaling, the different ways that I journal, the different exercises that I do when I journal. But I will say that this is one of those habits that I come back to again and again and again. And I know it's so hard to implement new habits, and yet this one has been really, really easy for me because again, it gives me so much value and honestly makes me a happier, healthier, more positive person. Number 2 that I want to share is a really, really good one, probably my favorite one, and it is Wim Hof method breathing. Now, here in Israel, I can't always get a good cold shower. Sometimes I have to do a full-on ice bath, and that doesn't happen every single day. But one thing that I can do every single day, even if I'm not sitting around, is do my Wim Hof method breathing. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, the idea is pretty simple. You do 30 to 40 inhales, let it go. And then you hold your breath after the 30 to 40 for as long as you can. Breathe in and then recycle. You can check that out. I'll put a link in the video below and you can try this out. There are free apps, free videos that you can try. But this one thing honestly makes such a difference in my mood, my mindset, my energy level, my immunity, and just about everything else. In fact, since I met Wim years and years ago and he convinced me of the benefits of this breathing technique, doctors all over the world, even here in Israel, where we're 10 years behind, have started really, really taking to this, and the medical community has become so enamored with Wim Hof and this method that even my naturopathic doctor recommended to me. He's like, hey, you got a little bit of inflammation. Are you doing Wim Hof method? It's like, how do you know about Wim Hof? And yet, it's become really, really popular. Now, one power hack that I like to share is when you're first starting out, especially, the Wim Hof method can be very unpleasant. You get very lightheaded, you get tingly throughout your body. You almost feel like you're gonna pass out. So one thing that I do, and I know it's not perfect, but one thing that I do is I will combine tip number 1 and tip number 2, and I will actually do my Wim Hof method breathing while I'm journaling. It allows me to kind of take my mind off the fact that I feel like I'm gonna pass out, and it also saves me a little bit of time. And what's cool is doing this has actually given me more insight into how the Wim Hof method affects me. A lot of mornings I will look at the journaling page and it starts out with, not feeling so great today, not motivated, I slept really poorly. And then as I'm doing the method, by the time I get to the end of the page, usually it's like, let's crush this day, I feel amazing, life is amazing. So it really does, obviously part of it is the journaling, but it really, really does influence your mood and your mindset to do this activity. Now, exercise number 3 is a really, really simple one, and I really encourage every single one of you to do it. I have been told this by just about every thought leader who deals with sleep, morning routines, and physical fitness, and it is First thing in the morning, drink a glass of water. Now, some people will tell you drink a glass of water with lemon. Some people will say ice cold water. I don't really care. Do one of them, but first thing when you wake up in the morning, especially for you chronic snoozers out there, I know I see you, and I used to be just like you. And one thing that dramatically changed this for me was drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. This does a lot of different things. Throughout the night, we are exhaling a lot of our fluids. Sometimes a lot of us, especially as we get older, are waking up in the middle of the night to pee. The bottom line is we're losing a lot of fluids at night, and the fluids that we do have, our body is using to recycle metabolic waste, to do all kinds of different processes. That's why when we wake up in the morning, our pee is so yellow, because our bodies are doing a ton of different processes throughout the night that is recycling that metabolic waste. In other words, we are using so much water. So when we wake up in the morning, every cell in our body is dehydrated, not just at the organ level, but also at the cellular level. One of the best ways to kickstart your body and brain into action is to chug a glass of water first thing in the morning. I almost guarantee if you do this, even if you are a chronic snoozer, if you chug a glass of water in the morning, even if it's right by your bedstand, you will discover that you will not be able to get back to sleep, and you will be able to kickstart your entire metabolism in the morning. Also, I've found that you will feel a lot less tired. You'll be less dependent on coffee, which, by the way, just dehydrates you even further. So before you have that morning cup of coffee, before you even have breakfast, before you even brush your teeth, first thing in the morning, grab that glass of water. Now, the next morning routine element that I want to share is not going to be a surprise to any of you, but it is meditation. I know, you're so sick of hearing about meditation. You're so tired of people, thought leaders, experts, authors going on and on about meditation. But the fact of the matter is, it wouldn't be cliche if it didn't work, you guys. Meditation is one of the most scientifically proven ways to decrease stress, decrease anxiety, improve concentration and focus, improve your mindset, decrease, all kinds of stress, systemic stress in the body, and many, many more things. So just do it. Just wake up in the morning, and here's the thing. You don't have to do 30 minutes of meditation. You can do 5, you can do 1, but just do the meditation. Now, here as well, I have a little tip that I want to share with you, which is, I know in the morning, your eyes are dry, you're tired, you're having a really hard time. So what I often like to do is I will sit up straight and just meditate first thing in the morning. And what that'll do is give me an opportunity for my eyes to become unwrinkled. It'll give me an opportunity for my body to take in the water, the glass of water that I just drank. And by the time I'm finished with my meditation, again, sitting up straight is a really important part, because otherwise if you do it in bed, you will fall back asleep. But it does allow you and give you that time to kind of slowly kickstart your morning. And I think you'll find that if you do it after other elements, such as the Wim Hof method, you will not be able to calm yourself. You'll be all energized and charged up. Now, the last piece of the morning routine that I want to share with you is kind of a softy, mushy one, but it is time with your loved ones. As soon as you start the day, you get into all kinds of reactive modes where you are just responding to whatever inputs come your way, whether that's phones ringing, whether that's alarm clocks going off, whether that's emails coming in. So one thing that I like to do, and my wife and I like to do in the morning, first thing, is we spend a little bit of time, again, after that glass of water, just cuddling, talking, and spending quality time together. Now, if you have kids, this can also be a morning ritual where you take care of them, you help them brush their teeth in the morning, you prepare breakfast for them. But honestly, I don't see this one get mentioned enough, and it is just spending time with your family and your loved ones before the craziness of the day. Because, the earlier in the morning that you prioritize something, the more energy, the more willpower, the more kind of focus that you have. And why wouldn't you want to put your family and your loved ones first in all of that? I'd also love it if you let me know in the comments below, what are some of the things that have stuck for you, things that are so valuable that you don't even have to try to stick with them in your morning routine. Make sure, as always, to hit the follow button and the like button and all the other buttons, depending on where you're watching this. And thanks so much for tuning in.